How does Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult Novel differ from Save the Cat Writes a Novel? Are there new beats for young adult novels? Will this book talk about writing a series? Do I need to read the new book if I've already read the other book? Save the Cat Writes a YA novel is almost here, and in this video, I'm sharing all the juicy details. Coming up next, everything you need to know about my new Save the Cat book. Hello, writer friends. Jessica Brody here, author of Save the Cat Writes a Novel and Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult Novel, coming July 18th, 2023. Wink, wink, and the founder of the Writing Mastery Academy. And in this video, I'm sharing all the juicy details about my new Save the Cat book. There's a new Save the Cat book. First up, if you didn't already know, yes, there's a new Save the Cat book coming your way on July 18th, 2023. Yes, I know, the release date has changed many, many times. That's the publishing business for you. What is it? Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult Novel takes the famed Save the Cat storytelling method, yes, the same methodology that's presented in Save the Cat Writes a Novel, and applies it to the world of YA fiction. So yes, an entire book dedicated to how to use Save the Cat to write young adult novels. But as you'll soon see, this book is not just for YA novelists. Novelists of any age group and any genre will actually get a lot out of this book for reasons that will be revealed later on in this video. So stay tuned. Why a YA version? But why does there even need to be a YA version in the first place? Didn't the original novel writing book have plenty of YA examples? Yes, it's true. The original book did have some YA examples, and although the structure of a young adult novel is similar to the structure of any other novel and follows the same 15 beats as any other story, the filter through which we tell young adult stories is quite unique, and I can speak to that from experience. After writing more than 15 YA novels in my career, I can safely say that YA is its own novel writing beast, and it does warrant its own novel writing guide, if for no other reason than to laser focus our study of story structure using exclusively young adult examples. What does a catalyst look like in a YA novel? What kinds of wants, needs, and problems do teen protagonists have? How do you raise the stakes at the midpoint of a YA novel? What are common ways the beats are customized in young adult fiction? These are all the questions I set out to answer in this new guide. YA novels feature some of the most structurally complex and well-written stories on bookshelves today, and this book breaks down some of the most successful, while also showing you how to plot your own YA masterpiece. I don't write YA, so I don't need to read this book, right? This seems like a safe assumption, but what I'm about to say might change your mind. I'm a firm believer that the best way to learn anything, particularly storytelling, is by example. When we see the 15 beats in action over and over again, they start to click. That's why I'm always filling my webinars and online courses with new examples, because I know that one of these examples is going to create that aha moment necessary for some writer to figure out their own story. The more we analyze story structure in other novels, the easier it is for us to structure our own. It's as simple as that. So while you might not write YA, you can definitely learn from the slew of brand new examples that I've analyzed and broken down in this book, including 10 full-length new beat sheets. For example, if you're writing a multiple point of view novel and curious how to weave multiple heroes into your beat sheet, you'll get a lot of value from the full-length beat sheets for Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. All three stellar multiple POV novels featured in Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult Novel. Children of Blood and Bone even has 3 5-point finales woven together at the end. It's a structural work of art. Or let's say you're writing a flashback-heavy narrative and want an example of how to seamlessly integrate flashbacks into your story. The full beat sheet for If I Stay by Gail Forman, featured in the book, is a great one to study. In addition to all the new examples, I've also added tons of new insights about the Save the Cat method that I've collected since writing the first book. These range from new ways to think about the beats, new ways to look at structure in general, new explanations for key strategies in the Save the Cat method, and new ways to customize the beats to fit your story. It's my hope that all of this will inspire you, help you bust out of plotting blockages, and create those all-important aha moments that will allow you to tell your story better. Is there new content that's not in the first book? The short answer to that is yes. Besides being filled with brand new examples, as we said, there are actually a few things that are completely new and different in the book that don't exist in Save the Cat Writes a Novel. First and foremost is the customizing your beat sheet chapter. After releasing Save the Cat Writes a Novel, I've been inundated with questions from writers asking about different ways they can customize the 15 beats to make them work for their story. Specifically questions like, how do I incorporate multiple points of view, prologues, flashbacks, backstory, villain stories, catalysts that come on the first page. Many of these were not addressed in the original book, or they were addressed very quickly. So in this book, I've included a brand new chapter called Customizing Your Beat Sheet. Think of this chapter as sort of an advanced beat sheet chapter where you can take the foundations that you'll learn about in the Save the Cat beat sheet chapter and make them your own. Once again, analyzing and breaking down tons of examples from authors who have put their own creative spin on basic story structure so that we can learn what works and get inspired from some of the greats. And the newest edition that I'm probably the most excited about is the Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult series chapter. That's right, you asked for it, I delivered. Duologies, trilogies, quartets, and more. In this book, I break down series in the most detail I have ever done and show you how the Save the Cat method and those same 15 beats can be used to help you structure, plan, and write a compelling series. And yes, this chapter is filled with, you've got it, more examples. Which novels are featured in the book? Well, I already mentioned a few, but here's the complete list of YA novels whose full beat sheets can be found in Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult Novel. For the rites of passage genre, you'll be able to read the full 15-beat breakdown for To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is such a wonderful, heartwarming, coming-of-age story with a fantastic premise and an inspiring character arc. All of you writing contemporary novels, you'll want to check this out. You will not want to miss it. I especially love that this is an example of a 5-point finale in a character-driven story, which isn't always an easy thing to do. Look at all of those pretty beat flags. Woo! For the buddy love genre, I've chosen to break down the one and only Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Romance novelists, take heed. This is definitely one you'll want to check out. Green's pitch-perfect narrative combined with stellar plotting create a memorable story that hits all the 15 beats flawlessly. But beware of that all is lost. Get your tissues ready. If you know, you know. For the institutionalized genre, we've got the Newbery winner, The Giver by Lois Lowry. This book is short, but packs a powerful punch. If you want to study dystopic world building combined with flawless structure, this is your study guide. This book, interestingly, has a longer than average setup beat, so it's interesting to see how Lowry deals with that and what other beats she shifts around to accommodate, plus how she keeps those pages compelling all the way to the later than average catalyst beat. Moving on to the superhero genre, we've got Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, a high fantasy novel. This beat sheet is a beast. 3 points of view, 3 intersecting beat sheets, including those 3 5-point finales. Like I said, structural masterpiece. You're going to want to check this one out as an example of how to integrate world building into your structure. And for all of you writing those multiple POV novels, this is it. This is the one to study. This is how you do it. Next up, we have The One and Only Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Anyone know what this genre is? A team? A prize? A road? Yep, you guessed it, it's a Golden Fleece. And honestly, I knew from the very start that this would be the book I broke down for the Golden Fleece genre. It's another multiple POV novel, but this one is different as the heroes, 5 of them, actually share beats and therefore have a joint beat sheet, or what I call a team beat sheet. I go into much more detail about multiple POV beat sheets and all of the varieties in the book, but definitely check out this one again for superb world building and plotting. This 5-point finale. Oh my gosh, I just can't even. Leigh Bardugo is a genius. Next up, the full triumphant genre. For this genre, I chose to break down Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. This is a great one to study for all of you writing a story with a catalyst that comes on the very first page. That's what this book does. So what happens to the other beats? Well, essentially your setup and your debate have to get smooshed together. You can read this beat sheet to see exactly how Jerry Spinelli has done it super well in Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult Novel. Dun da da da, Dude with a Problem. Hands down the best titled genre of the whole methodology. For this book, I had to do it. I could not do it. It's, after all, a book about YA fiction. I couldn't not include The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Raise your hand if you saw that one coming. You'll want to read this beat sheet if, well, you're writing any novel, period, because it's just sheer structure genius. To this day, this is still one of my favorite examples of the 15 beats in action. Moving on, we have the out-of-the-bottle genre. As I mentioned before, If I Stay by Gail Forman is an excellent novel to study for its stellar use of flashbacks. Where do flashbacks go in the Save the Cat beat sheet? Well, I dive into that in much more detail in the new book, in the Customizing Your Beat Sheet chapter, and then I analyze this book as a prime example of how to do it well. Also, this is another fabulous example of a character-driven story as opposed to a plot-driven story like The Hunger Games or Six of Crows. While it has a touch of magic, it's still very much a contemporary novel, still with a rock-solid 15-beat structure. Next up, we have the Why Done It genre, and for this genre, the featured beat sheet in Save the Cat Writes, a young adult novel, is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This was a runaway hit. Huge, huge book, and such a great mystery. This is another multiple POV novel with 4 heroes this time. What's so impressive about this book is how the author gives all 4 of the heroes distinctive character arcs. All 4 have different problems, different flaws, different shards of glass, wants, and needs, and it's all seamlessly woven into a twisty, turny murder mystery that's honestly impossible to put down. So if you're writing multiple POV, or you're writing a mystery, or really anything, this is a great one to study for its structure brilliance. And finally, last but not least, we have the Monster in the House genre. For this genre, I analyzed the plot of Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This one was chilling in the best way, but it was also beautifully structured. Check out this beat sheet if you want to study the inner workings of a horror novel with a morally ambiguous ending. Plus, this book has 2 POVs, but what makes it different is only one of them is actually the hero of the story and has a full beat sheet. So for those of you writing a novel where you're not really sure if your second or third POV is a hero and therefore needs their own beat sheet, this is actually a really good one to check out. If you want more information about any of these genres that I've been talking about, I'll put a link to where you can download my free Save the Cat genre guide in the description below. Of course, you can also check out Save the Cat Writes a Novel or Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult Novel for the full genre breakdowns. So those are the 10 books whose full beat sheets are showcased in Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult Novel. Of course, there are tons more examples of the beats in action from novels like Divergent by Veronica Roth, I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erica L. Sanchez, Warcross by Marie Lu, The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Illyri Sainz, Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, plus many, many more. Okay, so there you have it. That is everything you need to know about Save the Cat Writes a YA novel, except for, you know, the stuff that's actually in the book, which is quite a lot. It's even longer than the first book. This book has been a 3-year labor of love for me, and I can't wait for you to all read it. I hope you enjoy, and as always, happy writing.